CVFM. Bernie Does the Borough, proudly sponsored by Teesside's Healthy Living Pharmacies. There's always a pharmacy open near you 7 days a week. Ask your local pharmacist for free and confidential advice on smoking, alcohol, weight and sexual health issues. You don't even need an appointment. Visit teessidepharmacy.net to find out more. Get your opinions on the air and have your say on the Borough game. Bernie Does the Borough on CVFM. It's 5 p.m. and the games are finished. The scores are set. And now it's time to hear from the Northeast's football mouthpiece. It's time for the Alternative Radio Phone-In. 90 minutes of spleen-venting, honest opinion calls. Get involved with the biased banter by calling 01642 688 104. It's time for Bernie Does the Borough on CVFM.
Well, welcome to the Borough on here in CVFM 104.5. Today ended up Middlesbrough 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Give us a phone 01642 688 104 here at CVFM. Thanks to CVFM Healthy Living Pharmacies for obviously backing the show, sponsoring the show, letting us use the facilities, and without both of them we wouldn't be in there. Today's game, the team, I mean I've written it down, I've lost the team sheet, but Dimmy was in goal, Gibson and Ayala the two centre backs, George Friend obviously out, Tindeli, if that's how you pronounce his name, and I prefer to call him Fernando. They were full-backs with the Doma, Forshaw, Ledbetter and Clayton, Tomlin and Kiki, and on the bench was Ripley, Whitehead, Carriall, who's returned from loan, Reach, Vossen, Imuru and Nsui. The game is a spectacle in front of our biggest ever crowd of the season. I think the official crowd was 33,500 people. The lounges were absolutely jammed, rammed. I have to say, we knew it was a nothing game getting into it. Obviously, we were trying to say we had to win so we could meet the first game was away from home in the playoffs. And it turned out like that. And if you don't know, we've got Brentford. Brentford over-jumped because of the victory. Derby County. Steve McLaren, of course, former Middlesbrough manager. He's missing out in the playoffs. A lot of speculation he's going to Newcastle. If he is, good luck to you, Steve. You'll need it. But as a spectacle day, it was poor. I don't know if I'm saying pressure. What pressure? There was no pressure today. It was a game to go out and enjoy ourselves and express ourselves. And I thought we let ourselves down. Especially, we've got the fans in. Now's the time to rope them in and say, hey, we are a good team. What you've been missing all season. But it didn't materialise. You know, chances were at a premium. Passing was sloppy at times. Defensively at times we looked frail. They gave us a couple of scary moments into the second half. Should have scored if I'm being honest. Kiki had a good chance for Boro. But overall, spectacle wasn't a great deal to appreciate and walk away and rave about. But we know what we have to do now. We've got Brentford away in the first leg, and then we return to the Riverside. I fancy us against Brentford. I think we're all... None of us are outstanding. The team that's in the playoffs, whether it's Ipswich or Sells, Brentford... Anybody can beat anybody in any given day, but it is a slight advantage playing the away game first, and let's hope we can capitalise on that and overturn them and get into the final at Wembley. That's obviously the objective. If you'd have said to me, top of the season, start of the season, would you be happy with playoffs? I'd have said without a doubt. I fancied this for playoffs, but with one game to go, obviously today you're thinking just disappointed we didn't make automatic. But for me, as I said last week, the two best teams in the division are Bournemouth, and both of them deserved to get into to get automatic promotion. Bournemouth and I'm just looking. I'm trying to jump and watch and listen. And yeah, I'll look at the results. Blackburn Rovers 3-2 against Ipswich Town. Blackpool 0-0 against Huddersfield. Bolton they get beat 1-0 against Birmingham at home. Brentford 3-0, great result against Wigan. Charlton 0, Bournemouth 3. So Bournemouth another 3 goals to their credit. So we'd have needed to score 22 goals to catch them. Charlton 0, Derby County 0. Steve McLaren's team absolutely disintegrated in the last 8 games. Reading 3, Leeds United 0-0 against Rotherham, Norwich 4, Fulham 2, Nottingham Forest 1, Cardiff 2, Watford, the other promoted team of course, 1-1 against Sheffield Wednesday, and Wolves 4, Millwall 2. If you want to give us a phone, it's your call. Talk about today's result, performance, what do you expect in the playoffs. But a big congratulations to Bournemouth. They won the championship, and well done. Is it Eddie Howe? He's had a great season. He talks well. He's a young lad. He's played for the club, and no doubt we'll find a gem as an English manager. There's not many of them about. Let's go to Bob. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bernie.
Come on then, Bob. What do you think of today's exploits?
Well, firstly, yes, I'd reiterate that. I mean, Bournemouth have been my favourite side outside the Premiership for about 10 years now, and I'm absolutely thrilled that the best footballing team that we've ever seen in the Championship has won the Championship so well, and Watford too deserve it. And
yes.
I think all the talk about the managers moving on to Newcastle or Sunderland is a lot of baloney.
Do you think so?
They've both been heavily linked, but I think the results have worked out quite well today. One or two surprises. Certainly Derby Reading was a shock when Reading have only won 1 in the last 8.
It's incredible.
But Derby, I mean, if McLaren gets the Newcastle job, I'm not sure who I feel most sorry for. I just don't think he's up to it. I think, apart from the time at Middlesbrough and 1 year at 20 Enschede, he has not done well as a manager. And I think the way the team collapsed partly because what did he do in the last 8 games? He constantly changed and rehashed when he had a fairly settled side, and he was determined to. He's a bit like 1 or 2 Middlesbrough managers in the past that won't leave well alone when things are good.
Yeah.
And they constantly want to tamper, and it's bad. And in that regard, I think Middlesbrough, for all that they've beaten Brentford twice, although they should have lost down in London, they were totally outplayed. But up here, it was probably Middlesbrough's best display and Brentford's worst display of the season. But Brentford have a lot of very good players. It's good for Middlesbrough that they're playing a team that plays very, very open football.
Yes.
If it had been Ipswich, for all they won, I think they beat Ipswich home and away, it would have been more of a struggle if Ipswich had the right players out. But I think Brentford are not an easy side.
No, my own opinion, Bob. If we were playing Brentford at Wembley in a one-off game, they're a good footballing team. They zip it around. I'd have been a wee bit concerned, but over 2 legs, I think we've got enough in the locker. Don't forget, we beat them 4-0 up here, and down there we beat them 1-0. Although down there we got the runaround. How we win that game, I'll never know. But they are a good football team.
Right.
Yeah.
The amazing thing about this, though, is that Warburton's known, and all the players at that club have known for months that he wasn't staying at the end of the season. And
what is that about, Bob? Bob, for those that don't know, the manager of Brentford is going to be walking away, win, lose or draw, get promotion or not. He's leaving his role. What's behind that?
Well, it seems that there are certain people, including the chief executive officer and at least 2 of the directors, who have felt that they haven't particularly liked some of his signings.
Is that
and have felt that, and I think have felt very much like Sunderland, that and Newcastle as well, for that matter, that they should be the ones that make the signings. Now, I think still, on average, that the average director is like Len Shackleton wrote about in his autobiography, The Clown Prince of Soccer.
Yeah.
When he put a page
left a blank page.
A blank page for the average director's knowledge of football.
Yes.
And I don't think that has greatly changed.
I agree.
And I think it's a big mistake. I think Warburton, I don't think they liked as well that Warburton was very well feed. He'd worked in the city like an increasing number of football managers, so he didn't need the job. He's very wealthy in his own right, so he wasn't under pressure. But the thing is, when you're not under pressure, that's when you often get the best results. Granted, Middlesbrough didn't today, when, as you say, they had no pressure on them at all. But I think, they wanted to interfere. They felt that 2 or 3 of their players hadn't done as well. I think, actually, his signings on the whole have been quite stupendous. I think, all right, things have been good for a while at Brentford. But to almost commit harikiri by saying you're getting rid of your best, the most productive manager they've had in two generations, going back to the very early 50s. It just seems insane to me.
I mean, I admire his stance, Bob. I mean, how many managers in the modern game, and we know it goes on, you know it goes on, and people out there, like guys above tinker, tell the manager, sell him, we're not happy with this one. You know, if you employ a manager, let him manage, let him dictate who's going to play and pick the team. So I admire his stance, and well done to him. And I've always believed, Bob, if the guys at the top want to stick their oar in team affairs, when it goes wrong and you're sacking the manager, sack yourself as well. You should all carry the can. But that doesn't happen, of course.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think the interesting thing is that obviously there'd been all change at Brentford. There'd been a few new people coming in at the same time. The director of the academy was new, but see, Brentford, although it's not as good as Bournemouth, because Bournemouth's youth policy is absolutely first rate. There's a lot of very good players coming through. There was an article, interestingly, in the Sun only last week suggesting that there's basically only 11 players that are Premiership quality. Well,
hold on, Bob. Did you see you reading the Sun? I thought you were more intellectual on that, Bob.
No.
The Sun.
I occasionally, I mean, if I always get it when there's an article by a certain.
They don't do page 3 now, Bob. It's no good to you, man.
A couple of very good political writers in there. But what was fascinating was that Brentford are producing a great rate of good kids as well.
Right.
And I mean, some of their best players have been people like Hotter, who has cost next to nothing, and is absolutely explosive. Coming in from the right, he is the biggest danger of all, really, because his left foot, the shooting with his left foot is probably the best in the division. And I think he's used the transfer market very well as well. I had Middlesbrough in fourth or fifth for something like the whole season,
right?
Which was where I thought they'd finish, and I was right with Bournemouth going up. I was a bit surprised that somebody like Cardiff did as badly, but there again, I wouldn't have. I think they got rid of Solskjaer too early.
Right.
And I know Russell Slade very well, and I like him, but I think it was a bit too much of a job. And sadly, they've not done too well, and his previous club, Leyton Orient, have been relegated. I don't know. I just have a feeling Norwich are going to go up.
So do you think we'll be in there? So you think Norwich is going to go up? You're obviously expecting them to get to Wembley. Do you think Boro will join them?
Yes, I think so. But it all depends on. I think a lot depends on whether or not he's brave enough to play what he thinks is his best team, and I'm not sure he knows what his best team is, or that he even thinks he knows what his best team is.
You're referring to Karanka, of course.
I thought when Karanka spoke to the Gazette only a week ago after the defeat, after they'd missed out on after the Fulham defeat.
Yes.
And he said, I thought there was too much blame on the players.
Right.
About, I thought we got over this when we lost to Watford and lost to Bournemouth. Right. I realised that this weren't quite right. But hang on, losing to Watford and Bournemouth is no disgrace. They are absolutely superb teams. Yeah. And I think sometimes Middlesbrough's teams change a bit too much. I still don't know. I think it has to be Bamford front with Tottenham in just behind.
Yeah.
Ledbetter has to play. I would definitely play 4-4. At the moment, the strong point of the team, which has been the defence all season, is suddenly a bit disrupted because
looking frail.
Friend has to play.
Well, Friend obviously suspended today.
Going back to Chelsea, I would play Amobieta because I think he's. I'm not sure. I think they need somebody with some pace to stop. I just think there's a few players with real pace there that, having lost twice, and this doesn't happen, by the way, very rarely does a team that's won twice in the playoffs against the team they play, very rarely do they get through.
Right.
So they need to be a bit worried about that. The same as Ipswich need to be a bit worried because they've had a win and a draw against Norwich.
Yes.
So it's if you think, because I think you simply go into the games thinking, we've beaten them twice already. They'll be scared stiff. We'll do it. And that once that gets into that kernel of an idea gets into your mind, it can be very destructive. And I don't know. Brentford cannot possibly play as badly as they did at Middlesbrough.
No, they were off at Middlesbrough. Looked like a different team down there.
And I think the other thing is, I think if you start off, and that's certainly been the case of a lot of games this season, having your home game first is often the best. It didn't used to be. I think crowds used to affect games more. So often the crowd doesn't get behind a team in the way that it used to, and I'd be a bit concerned with Brentford playing first.
Down there?
I would. I could see them getting a good result, and Middlesbrough having to do particularly well. It's a bit, the pundits have got a few things wrong, like, recently when they said, Bayern are out, because Porto had won 3-1 in the first leg, and, they won't come back, and it's the end of German domination. And I thought, they actually won out of sight. They could have won by even more. They could have won by 8. Mm-hmm. And I think this idea that, because you've gone down, I'm not saying that Middlesbrough could, I couldn't see Middlesbrough scoring 8 against anybody. But
we did a few years ago against Man City. Yeah, well, we scored 8.
Yes, I remember that well, and so do you, absolutely. But I don't know, I hope he doesn't make the mistake of saying, well, Bamford's going back, so I won't play him, because that's what Derby made the mistake of last year.
He must play Bamford.
Bamford must play. And I'm not sure about Vossen or Piqué. I'd be concerned that, that Genk want a lot of money for Vossen. Is he worth it? In the back of his mind, he must already be thinking about the squad for next season in the Championship, as well as in the Premiership. And so this next couple of weeks, I think, is a very difficult time for a manager, when they've been assuming all along that, or for too long, I think, that they were going to be in the top 2. Ipswich and Brentford have never had the thought they were going to be in the top 2, and I don't think Norwich have either. They may have had at the beginning of the season when it was a different manager, but all those 3 are just happy to be in the playoffs, and I think that's slightly to the disadvantage of Middlesbrough. But I hope, just because they've been disappointing today, that Middlesbrough fans don't think, well, that's it, another letdown. I think it's amazing that in a relatively short time since coming here, I think Karanka has done a brilliant job.
Yes.
Because as a squad, it's the best. In terms of the size of the squad, granted there's been a lot of loanees, it's the best in my lifetime.
The best squad in your lifetime?
In my lifetime, yeah. Because I think even when you were playing, or when...
By the way, the team, and I'll say it here while people are watching, the team I played in was better than this team.
Oh, the team you played in was better.
Oh, so you're looking at the overall squad.
In depth. This is the best they've had.
Yeah.
I think it's in depth, it's very good. But there are only 1 or 2 that are special. And Bamford is one of them. Yeah. And I think Konstantopoulos is one of the best keepers.
Big Demi's really surprised a lot of people, including myself. He's been terrific this season, Demi. He has, yeah. Bob, listen. Final word to you, Bob. Go on, final word to you. Final word to you.
I was going to say, if I was choosing I did it on my own show not long ago. Right. I chose an all-time a Boro team from the last 50 years.
Right.
And the only players that I had in from the current squad, Bamford was in, and I had Konstantopoulos as the backup goalkeeper. And that was it. Nobody else would get in. Okay. I think I had about 3 or 4 from the late 60s.
Right.
And I had you amongst the subs.
You cheeky so-and-so, Bob. If I could swear on it, I'd give you it right and proper.
Anyway, I think the exciting thing is, I can't remember the dates of these 2 games.
I think one's next Friday and one's in the Saturday.
Right. Yeah.
I don't mean we play Friday and Saturday. There's a playoff game Friday. I think it's quarter to kick-off, and then in the Saturday, and then it's the following week. So,
yes.
Yeah, they're going to be there and done and dusted before you know it, and let's hope we're rolling the red cap out for Wembley way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what he needs to do is, over the next 48 hours, decide what side he wants, as long as everybody's fit, and stick to that, and not be put off it. And I think they'll get the right result then. Yeah.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much for your contribution as always. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Always a pleasure. Never a chore. The Sun newspaper. I didn't think Bob would read it. I thought he'd read The Guardian or The Independent. He's an intellectual man, that Bob. If you want to get involved in your views, talk about Middlesbrough, talk about the game today, talk about the playoffs, what about Brentford? We'll finish 4th. And obviously Brentford overjumped Derby County, and Ipswich, Big Mick McCarthy's finished 6th. So there's your lineup. Are you happy with Brentford? I certainly am. If you want to give us a phone, 01642 688 104.
Your local station for Middlesbrough, CVFM. Bernie Does the Borough, proudly sponsored by Teesside's Healthy Living Pharmacies. There's always a pharmacy open near you 7 days a week. Ask your local pharmacist for free and confidential advice on smoking, alcohol, weight and sexual health issues. You don't even need an appointment. Visit teessidepharmacy.net to find out more. Have your say on the match, unedited. Bernie Does the Borough on CVFM.
Well, you get involved there, your views 01642 688 104. If you just walked in the door, it ended Middlesbrough 0. I was going to say 1-0. Brighton Hove Albion 0. It wasn't a game for the purists. It was disappointing in the eye. We can play far greater, but at the end of the day, it was a nothing game. But well done to the 33,500 people that turned up. And thanks to people who turned up in the Legends Lounge. It was ram-packed in there, and also there was a breakfast over at the Thistle, thanks to the people who turned up, and my guest Paul Kerr. You remember Nookie? I'll not tell you how you got his name. Anyway, let's go to Pam. Hiya, Pam.
Hiya, Bernie.
Hello, Pam. How are you?
I'm all right, but I'm disappointed. Really disappointed. Typical Borough. They take you so far and then they don't bother.
Well, today, Pam, I mean, let's be perfectly honest, it was a nothing game, really.
Yeah.
But my disappointment is finally we've got the crowd that I think we deserve.
Yeah,
we want to put on a show to say this is what you've been missing, and we let ourselves down today.
Yeah, we did.
As a spectacle, we were poor. But hey, come on, we've got Brentford. We can't be really doom and gloom.
But I'd rather for the next one get Ipswich than Norwich.
No, we've got Brentford.
Yeah. Well, the other playoff, it's Norwich and Ipswich.
Oh yeah, but hey,
I'd rather play Ipswich after that than play Norwich.
Yeah, but we have to beat Brentford first.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. I'd
rather take Ipswich.
See, this is the thing. I mean, I did the article in the Gazette as I do every Thursday, but I hear my mates and people saying, "Oh, we're booking a Wembley hotel, we're getting it," and I'm saying, "Calm down, we're not there yet. We've got 2 games to get there. Anything can happen."
I know, there's some of them already got it.
Well, they're jumping the gun.
Yeah, I know.
You can't count your chickens before they hatch. You need to calm down.
Yeah, my son-in-law, he wanted a ticket for today, because he works away, he drives, and when he come back, it was all sold out. Well, that's what happens. And I couldn't go for him one, Bernie.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that annoys me, and I'm going to be honest, the crowd roughly has been what? Standard 17,000. Yeah. And I did go on record months ago, as saying if we get in the Premier League, we'll be another 10,000-15,000 in the gate. Yeah. Today proved it. Where's the people who are coming out from under stones, under the bed? They've all found money for somewhere to go, because there's a lot of glory supporters out there. And they got the desserts today because it was a nothing game.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Randy, we could be worse. Newcastle looks like going down.
I tell you what. Was it 3-0 again? Was it 3-0, Pam?
Yeah.
Usually I don't watch the Premiership results. I look at them on the night.
Sunderland's won, but they're right behind. Newcastle's got 35.
Hold on a minute. I'm watching Match of the Day, Pam. I usually lie in my bed at 10:30 tonight. You've just blown it. You've blown it up. You just told me the scores.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I'm only joking. Don't worry about it, Pam.
Yeah. Anyway, behind them, there's 2 34s, a 32, and a 27. Yeah. And that's it. So if they don't win in the next few games, I think they'll go down.
Yeah, Newcastle, you're right, 35, Hull City and Leicester on 34, Sunderland 33. Yeah. I tell you what, I don't think Newcastle could buy a win at the minute. And John Carver...
I tell you what, I think they'll end up with the Wally with the Baroli now.
Steve McLaren?
That's who they're after. One time they wanted Karanka.
Well, that was rumours, Pam.
Yeah.
We can't believe the press.
Oh no, I've heard them go on and say they wanted Karanka.
Who, Newcastle?
But it's rumour at it that...
rumour, that's the word, Pam, rumour.
Yeah, that Steve McLaren... They said he's been asked, but they said Steve McLaren and now will leave Derby and go to them. We'll have to...
Well, the thing about Steve McLaren, the bit that I know about Steve McLaren, I think he's fairly strong-minded.
Yeah, I know, but I can't see him going to...
No, but I don't think... I honestly don't... I think he'd be a good fit. He lives up this neck of the woods. Yeah. You know, he's plied his trade at Man United, Middlesbrough. Yeah. You know, he's had a few trials and tribulations along the way, but... At
Newcastle, he won't be able to pick his own football.
No, I can't
see him going there.
I don't think he can tolerate Ashley. I don't think he could.
That's what I mean. I can't see him going
Ashley's want a puppet figurehead that he's going to control and manipulate. I don't think McLaren's that.
Yeah.
I don't think McLaren's that.
No.
So, Pam, you were really disappointed today, yeah?
I was really. I mean, I've lost me bet, but that doesn't matter. I'd have been happy.
Come on, Pam, let's see
her.
How much did you put on? Couple of quid, fiver?
A fiver.
Fiver.
But I was standing to win 120 odd quid.
Wow.
We put that on before, right at the beginning of the year. So,
well, there's an old saying, hey, didn't throw your money away, Pam. Hold on to that fiver.
I only have 2 bets a year, one on
you're
the
allowed
Derby
to.
and one on the Boro.
Did you win anything in the Derby?
Huh?
Did you win anything? No.
I didn't get anywhere on the Derby. Not nowhere.
Right. So who's your money on?
Not picking any more for me.
You might put a bet on and a flitter on the playoff games against Brentford.
Yeah. I'll see what I would have. It says I've given your number, by the way.
Oh, the CVFM number. I thought you were saying my own private number, Pam. Don't be giving that out.
Oh, I mean for the show.
Yes, for the show. Yeah, tell me phone up.
I put your thing on my computer, and when I went on it said it was illegal.
Oh, it is illegal. This is like pirate radio.
Oh well, no.
We're going to start floating about the North Sea.
Yeah, I didn't know.
You know, the skull and crossbones on the thing.
Yeah, no wonder.
This is pirate radio. People think it's like community. This is pirate radio.
Oh, I shut it down straight away.
We're only kidding. It's legal radio, Pam. Don't worry about that. No, you're fine.
I must have made a mistake. Is it spelled with a K?
No.
No. I will
it's
have put the wrong one on.
C.
Eh?
C. For capital. C. Capital C.
Capital?
No. It's CVFM, but C for capital, or C for Celtic, C for Chrissy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
C for Celtic.
The wrong one then.
You did. Hey, don't be going on the illegal ones.
No, I know, I never do.
I do. Hey, listen.
That other one out now.
Pam,
after we thought we'd found this. And as I say, when I put it on, it said, this is illegal. So I switched off straight away.
Come on, Pam, it's CVFM 104.5. 104.5.
144.5.
No, 104, Pam. 10, 1 zilch 4.
Yeah, I can't get you on the radio. I've got digital and ordinary, and I just can't pick you up.
Where are you living? The Himalayas?
Elstree. Near Fairfield.
Well, you should be able to get it.
I know.
We'll phone you and get it sorted. Pam, it might be a silly question, diverting away from the football. There's a big fight, Pacquiao, Mayweather, at 4 in the morning. You're not going to have a cat nap and wake up and watch it, are you?
I'll probably be awake, Penny.
Will you watch it?
Still popping painkillers like I used to before.
Oh, right.
So, I'll probably be. I'm walking now. That's one thing.
Oh, that's good, Pam. Would that interest you, the fight in the boxing?
No, I'm not really interested in boxing, but I'd like to know who wins.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's wrestling I like.
Oh, Pamela, you know what they say about the wrestlers. Thank very much.
I used to love the wrestling.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I've been in the ring with Mick McManus, I hope you know.
Hold on, you were rolling about the ring with Mick McManus?
I went knitting with my handbag. Years ago when we were at Butlins.
Pam, we don't want to hear your sordid secrets. We don't want to hear them. Keep them to yourself. Listen, thank very much, Pam, for your call.
Okay.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
01642 688 104. Give us a phone here on CVFM. Looking at the top of the table, the champions, Bournemouth. Well done to them. I have to say congratulations. I enjoyed watching them. Very entertaining. And 22 goals more than us. Incredible tally. Watford, well done to them. 89 points, point behind Bournemouth. They'll be disappointed they didn't finish champions, but well done to both of them. And Norwich, Middlesbrough, Brentford, Ipswich. Well done to us four for getting in the playoffs, and may the best team win, obviously Middlesbrough. Let's go to Brian. Hi Brian.
Yes, okay Benny.
Come on then Brian, are you a wee bit despondent? Are you disappointed the manner in which we seen out the remaining 90 minutes, or what was your take in today's game?
Disappointed.
Yeah.
Disappointed all round with not getting automatic.
Yeah. Well,
today.
obviously, yeah.
And, you know, who could say what's going to happen? Because for the last third of the season, this team, it's been to hit and miss, hasn't it? The last third of the season, we won games at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, home record's been good, yeah, the home record's good.
But we weren't impressive, but we won games, the main thing. But the away form just went. I mean, yes, you can say we got beat against Watford and Bournemouth, but what about Sheffield Wednesday?
That was a game, that was a key game.
Not Forest.
Yeah, that was another game, you're right, Brian.
Fulham.
Yeah, there's big games there, are games that we fancied ourselves.
And we got slapped, some of them, didn't we?
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday was majorly disappointing, as was Forest. And obviously playing the two newcomers, you know, one of the games when we're thinking, well, what are you doing? This is a paramount importance, and we gambled and it backfired. But hey, Brian, we can't be overcritical. We're still in a good position. We're in the mix for the playoffs. If we're being honest, the two best footballing teams and most creative and scored the most goals are promoted. They deserve the plaudits for that. We're a wee bit more cautious and hesitant, but we're as good as any in the playoffs. But we have to be a wee bit more forthright and going forward. We can't sit. Don't forget, if we get to Wembley, let's hope we do, and I'm confident we will. If we get to Wembley, we can't be overly cautious because we'll end up getting beat. I just feel we don't start attacking teams. Look at last week's game, 3-1 down, 10 men, then we come to life. You know, we get with gloves up, we're into it. But why take so long?
And it's been happening quite a lot, hasn't it?
It's happened a lot. That cautious sort of a negative side's been.
You know, it was there for us really, even this season. But it's about the future. Hopefully we can make it through these playoffs.
Yes.
But it proves a point. I wouldn't blame Karanka for what's happened. I think Karanka's done well.
Yes, Karanka's done very well, yeah.
And it's the start. It's the start for Karanka, hopefully. Now, these players now, even if we get promotion or we stay in this division, about the future. They'll never ever, these players, be more saleable ever again. They're more saleable now.
So what are you edging at? You want to get rid of a few? Sell a few?
Yes, because when it's come to the crunch, Bernie, central midfield hasn't been good enough. It doesn't drive the team forward enough. Defence, for this division, get away with it. Central midfield, too slow. Yes, Ledbetter, good season, scored loads of goals, all penalties. You count Ledbetter,
I think Ledbetter
and Clayton without the penalties.
No, I was talking about this today. I think Ledbetter, off the top of my head, I think every goal apart from one, possibly two, was from the penalty spot.
And Clayton hasn't scored one.
And Clayton hasn't scored. That's the other side of the coin. And if I'm a midfielder, with my mentality, I'd be majorly disappointed if I've not chipped in with 6 to 8 goals at least as a midfielder. And scoring none and scoring one for open play is a disappointing return. Although Ledbetter can obviously say he's took the penalties, it isn't an easy thing to convert them, we know that. And he's kept his cool and composure. Well done to him for reaching double figures. But when you analyse it and scrutinise it, 2 midfielders scored 1-2 for open play. That's not enough.
Yeah, and you look at the strikers.
Strikers not good enough. I've always edged that we weren't good enough. Bamford's been the top man. He scored the goals. Kiki started well and dipped dramatically. Scored a great goal last week with his header. Well done to him for that. Vossen,
he's been given loads of chances.
Yeah, he has. And I supported him in Gazette last week and says who could be the hero. Well, last week he was almost scoring the third goal with a look my header. It was a great finish. Today he had a chance or two, went a begging. Vossen blows hot and cold. Tomlin, good in spots, looks the part, doesn't score enough for me. What he's got, he doesn't score enough. So really, I says months ago, people were saying the defence can get us promoted. I says it'll be goals that get us promoted. Well, the two guys that's in top of us have been promoted because of the goals and how many they've scored.
The pressure in the end come on the defence, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes, we keep a clean sheet. They did for most of the season, but it caught up with them because, as you say, you've got to score goals as well.
Scoring goals is the key. Scoring goals, it's okay if you keep clean sheets, you still need to score a goal or two. And looking at the team and the players, there's only Bamford recently you could hang your hat on and say he'll get us a goal.
No matter what division we're in next season, let's hope it's the Premiership, gives us money.
Totally agree.
No matter what division we are in, you've got to change this team still.
The team's going to change whether we want it or not. Bamford's going to disappear for sure.
No,
the lone players
what I'm saying is, we are saying this season, Ledbetter and Clayton are good enough. When it comes to the crunch, they're not. They don't drive the team forward enough, Bernie. Not enough goals without the penalties. Strikers need improving.
Yes.
And as I say, that no matter... Karanka come out and said, when we played Bournemouth and Watford, he said, we're playing against mainly ex-Premiership players. He said, we've done well. In his own words, we've done well to get as far as we can. So he knows, doesn't he? He knows, no matter what division we're in, he is going to change this team still.
Without a doubt.
He said, when we come up against the quicker... We've seen at times, Bernie, that teams are quicker than us, aren't they?
Yeah. I think we're looking at it, we've got a fairly one-pace team. Most top teams have got a couple of players with lightning pace, explosive. We've not got that.
We've not
got that. Yeah, but you still know lightning. I played with Ripper. We need a couple of players that's lightning quick. I mean, Leicester's got a couple of lads up front who are lightning quick. The top teams have got players that are really quick and lightning. We've not got that. We're a fairly one-pace team.
Yeah, you even look at Tomlin, don't you?
Tomlin's not super quick. Vossen isn't. Kiki isn't. Bamford isn't. Reach isn't. You playing the piano there, Brian? Is that your phone?
Yeah, it'll be nothing called.
Leave it. Just put it aside, Brian.
But hopefully we can still get there. We need to get there, really. But don't despair. I think we will get there under Karanka. I think we will get there.
What now? This year? Now? Playoffs, final, through?
But even if the worst comes to worst, Bernie, I think this bloke will get us promoted next season.
Brian, Brian, why we jump to next season? This is the time now. Hey, listen, Derby County were in the final at Wembley. They were the better team and get beat by Queen's Park Rangers. They've missed out this year. Because we don't do it this year doesn't mean we just say, do you know what, we'll do it next year and Karanka will do it next year. It doesn't work like that. It's even tougher next year.
We'll go to that, Bernie.
Yeah.
Derby fans must be wanting to jump off a bridge. Because, as you say,
I was going to say go to Newcastle Bridge, but it's a wee bit far away. That'll be mobbed with Geordies at the minute.
They brought in Bent. They done what you're saying we should have done, brought a good centre forward in, or goal scorer.
Yeah, Cameron Jones moved, Bent moved. There was a host of other players went to the top teams.
He went to Derby.
Yeah.
Right, he scored goals. They got Ince from Aston Villa on loan.
Yeah.
Where they got him. And scored goals, conceded too many goals.
Yeah.
Totally went to pieces. I mean, they were scoring 3 goals and not winning the game.
Well, off the top of my head, I think they won something like 1 in the last 8-9 games. Not good enough, and that's unlike McLaren.
You would have preferred to play Derby, wouldn't you, rather than Brentford?
The way they were playing, yes. But if you ask me who do I want to play between Norwich, Brentford, Ipswich, I would have took Brentford. If I could cherry pick the ones that's in the playoffs, I'd have took Brentford. What?
I would have preferred to play Brentford at home first.
At home first?
I would have.
Well, that's what Bob was saying. What do you mean?
Because we've seen the game at Brentford. Yes, we won 1-0. We could have been 3 down.
Yeah, that's true.
All
right, listen.
If we go to Brentford, we have got to be at least rock solid and bring something back here.
And I agree with you. If we go to Brentford and put in a shift the way we did the previous game where we won unbelievably, we will get turned over. They will beat us 2 or 3. They ripped us to shreds.
We come back here 2 or 3-0 down.
Yeah. Oh well, that
we're not going to.
Well, if we come back 2 or 3 down, we deserve to go out. We're meant to be good defensively. Let's shore up now. Let's keep it tight and let's do the business here.
What I was thinking was get him here first, get to a couple of goals up, and then that's more our game. You know what I mean?
Brian, you're talking as if we're free flowing. We're a Bournemouth that can bang in goals galore. We ain't.
Yeah, we did.
I know we did 4-0.
I think it would have been. But we've got what we've got, and that's it. Let's hope we get there. But as I say, Karanka knows the situation. He is going to strengthen this team more for me, and he'll wheel and deal to do it as well if there's not a lot of money there.
Brian, you've brought us on to next year still in this division. I hope you're totally wrong. We want
no matter what division we're in, he is going to change.
Hey, he might not. Again, you're jumping the gun. Karanka might not be here. We don't know his future. He could disappear, puff a smoke, see you later. We don't know his contract. We don't know anything.
But we still have Gibson here, don't we?
We've got Gibson. We've got the King of Teesside. Yeah.
We have. We'll have the same back room.
He'll be here. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
And I mean, even though it's not impossible to fill the role for Karanka, is it? It's not a difficult thing, really. Even though we want him to stay.
Hey, look, he's did the job. We want him to stay. We want him to build.
We're jumping the gun again there. The thing is, I think we can still move forward no matter what happens. I mean, you can't say that we are going to go and walk Brentford because the way we've been erratic, haven't we?
But at times we have, yeah. We've seen that with the decision going up to get the ball, Big Dimmy, and letting a goal in. That was erratic against Fulham.
And it might come down to a bit of luck now, mightn't it?
I've always said all along, you need luck and fortune, and that could be a major part. It could be a refereeing decision. He gets it right or wrong, that you get through or you get dumped out, hit somebody's backside. There's a million things can go wrong or right in your favour, and you need luck and fortune.
We want promotion, so we have George Friend missing. He's got to sort that out.
Well, George Friend's back.
Only one game.
No, I think he only misses today. He's back for the playoffs.
Oh, great.
I'm sure that's right. I'm sure he's back for the playoffs. But
so
he missed today.
A two-match.
And then the defence.
Straight red. That was all there, eh?
Yeah, straight red. I think it's out, and then the playoffs is something totally different, isn't it?
Oh, right.
I just think Friend was missing today. Vossen, as I say, he don't set the header alight overly, but Bamford, who was named Player of the Year, he was missing. So Friend and Bamford, for me, have been the two kingpins this season. Ledbetter, for the majority, sort of blew up the last 6 weeks, whatever. They two are back, so that's a big boost as well.
But as you say, the main thing is that Brentford away. We've got to go in with an attitude, not like the last time, even though we won.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to get into them and try and not be playing round our penalty area.
Yes.
You're looking for trouble if that happens, aren't you? Which happened last time.
Yeah.
And let's hope we go in with the right attitude, Bernie, clear our heads, and then we have a great chance of making Wembley.
Okay, Brian, listen, thank you very much for your call. Hopefully hear you next Friday is at the game, and hopefully we're singing from the rooftops. Yeah, thank you very much, Brian.
Hi, the Boro.
Cheers up the Boro. If you want to get involved in your views, discuss Middlesbrough's performance today, or discuss the league table or the playoffs, or Brentford. What was Steve McClellan's team? Derby County missing out. Big Steve will be gutted. He'll be travelling back to Yarm tonight, gutted. 01642 688 104.
Your local station for Middlesbrough, CVFM. Bernie Does the Borough, proudly sponsored by Teesside's Healthy Living Pharmacies. There's always a pharmacy open near you 7 days a week. Ask your local pharmacist for free and confidential advice on smoking, alcohol, weight and sexual health issues. You don't even need an appointment. Visit teessidepharmacy.net to find out more. Bernie's back, and he's now on CVFM. It's Bernie Does the Borough.
And if you want to get involved in your views, 01642 688 104, give us a phone, run out of time, but we'll be back, next Friday, is it, the playoff games? Anyway, John's on the line. Good evening, John.
Yeah, Bernie, mate.
Come on, John. I mean, I seen you last night at the Thistle Hotel. It was a great night, meeting Big John Hickton and Matt Proctor and Hodgson and Spike Armstrong. It was a great night. Was today a great day?
It was. I thought it was a shocking day, Bernie.
Why were we so despondent, do you think, John?
Bernie, I just can't put my finger on it. I'm thinking 33,000 crowd.
Great crowd.
Absolutely tremendous.
Yes.
You know, they lit the fuse at the beginning. I thought the reception on the field was brilliant.
Fantastic.
And I just thought, right, here we go. This is the start of it. First of all, I just think our formation didn't look right. We didn't seem to be wanting to get about them, Bernie, as if we wanted to win. And to be honest, Brighton were calling the shots.
Yeah.
And this was a team that, you know, haven't won for God knows how many games.
That's right.
Coming here, this was our chance to sort of build a platform into the playoffs. And basically, it just like Santa all things, Bernie.
I mean,
and it got worse.
I was saying, John, that if you were a neutral turning up today, and somebody says one of these teams in the playoffs, you wouldn't have believed them. You know, neither team didn't look good enough for the playoffs. It was just an average game of football, no real substance. I was disappointed, John, because we know it was a nothing game in a sort of a perverse kind of way, but you know, that crowd, this was an opportunity for the team, for the club to say, look, this is what you guys that's been away have been missing this season. And it was a chance to rope them in.
Of course.
And, you know, and it never happened. Fans were going away. I heard fans saying, typical Boro, get the numbers up, they let us down. That's typical Boro. We're trying to shake that off and get rid of that tag, you know.
Yeah. There was loads of people went today, Bernie, where that was a fish out. And they've come away going, oh, you're joking, aren't you?
Yeah.
And it was really, it was completely demoralising. And I think, you know, going into these playoffs, you needed something to light that fuse.
Yes.
You don't want to go in, you know, as flat as the proverbial.
No.
Terrible, absolutely terrible. But I honestly think towards the end, Bernie, which was quite interesting, Karanka shouted Ledbetter over.
Right.
And he talked to him like during the game, long and hard, and his motions were like, calm it down, keep it calm.
What, don't score another goal, don't score a goal.
I wonder, Bernie, if he was relating the scores and thinking, hang on a minute, do we really want to win this game at this stage now? Because that would shift the permutation around when, you know, Brentford are on the plate type of thing.
But John,
it was weird because from that point,
if that's the case, John,
from that point on, Burns,
we just sort of sat back. But if that's the case,
he's
more or less shown his hand, saying that he's more concerned about the other two. But eventually, hopefully, we're going to meet one of the other two, so we can't worry about them too much. Whether we got them now on the final, you know, we can't worry about any of them. It's a possibility.
Exactly.
They may have had somebody tuned into the other results, but I just, again, John, I'm talking, you no doubt you watch the teams I played in, talking for experience. Don't forget, we played Chelsea at home first, which wasn't ideal, and then we had to go to London, Stamford Bridge, to a team that had just come out the top division.
And do the business.
And we could beat 1-0, but we won overall. So you can do it. And try to cherry pick an angle who you want and who you don't want and you want to avoid. It doesn't always pan out like that. I just think we should have tried to win the game a day, get our tails up, we're ready, we're willing. Now we get to the next game, thinking that was not a good game, that the fans never enjoyed it, we didn't really enjoy it. We're a wee bit deflated, if we're being honest. We've got a few days to turn it round, but
definitely.
You know,
without doubt, Bernie.
If I'm a striker today, John, if I'm a striker today, I want to score. Forget your results. If Karanka shout to me, I say, I don't want to know. I want to score. I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
I want to be in that team that may be going to Wembley.
Exactly.
I'm going to bust a gut to make sure I put my marker on the table. And there wasn't that. The only person I'd say was trying for me, Albert Adoma.
I agree with that.
Was getting the ball and going forward.
Yeah, he had a couple of shots first half.
You know, absolutely tremendous. And I thought Ayala at the back was quite strong.
Yeah.
But but everybody else just
it was way off the pace of the game.
Insignificance, Bernie, and it was really, really. And as I say, after last night and the talk and what have you, and it was buzzing. And I was thinking, God, the atmosphere was better last night, Bernie. To be honest, mate. And probably the players there could have put in a better performance.
Oh no, I don't know, John. I think you're overstretching it there.
Steady. With Michael Ricketts, I think would have been all right, mate. But it was. I come away really deflated, to be quite honest. And you know, Brentford, people go, oh great, Brentford. They're going to be no pushovers, Bernie.
I know that,
John.
John.
They've built the head of the steam up, and they're going to be thinking, hey, come on, we can rattle these beggars. You know, to find it difficult to score. Let's get at them. If we get a goal, we can get on top.
Yeah.
A tight ground down there. We only won 1-0 when we went there before. Led with the penalty. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a nasty place, and what have you, a bit seething with the fans, and then come back, and then the pressure's on us, mate.
Yeah, as Brian says it, and rightly so, we gubbed them here, was at 4, but when we went down there, they had reorganised, they looked a better team, there was confidence. Although we won the game, and I don't know how we won it, but they totally outclassed and outpassed us in the day and should have scored about 4 or 5 that day. Now, if we go there and play like that, they will convert them this time. They won't miss them all again. So we really need to be at our best.
Exactly.
You know, and then bring them back here. Sure. But I've said, John, I don't know if you agree or disagree, I've been saying we need to... get the shackles off, no gung-ho, but we need to be a bit more adventurous. For me, we're still overly cautious. We're more concerned about, don't give a goal away, we're trying not to go. Look at the guys it's beat us, Bournemouth, Watford, look at the goals, amount of goals. Bournemouth, 22 goals ahead they've got. That is some amount of gap and an indication. I mean, when Karanka says 2 months ago we've got the best strikers, I thought, you're kidding yourself on. That's definitely not on. The best strikers are the guys at the top. And the guys at the top with the goal scoring charts in the division as the strikers of Bournemouth and Watford.
It's scoring for fun, Bernie.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the difference. And I totally agree with you. Today was a chance, as you say, not to go gung-ho, but to say, hey, let's have a go at these. Come on.
Yeah.
From the word go, let's, you know, pack it up top and batter these. Mm-hmm. Get some goals, get the crowd going.
Let's get nothing to lose. Yeah.
It was a no-brainer, and I'm just thinking you've got a maximum crowd there, all the people baying for this bag full of goals, and then it was like a damn squid, man.
Yeah.
It just fizzled out, and no, not good. So came away completely deflated, where you should have been coming out pumping the air thinking, right, come on, bring it on, we're ready for these playoffs.
Yeah.
So that was not a grounding at all.
So, John, if you could cherry pick between Ipswich, Norwich and Brentford, it would be Brentford, wouldn't it?
It would be Brentford. Yeah. It would be Brentford now, mate.
Yeah. And you're still confident, John? We're going to do it. We're going to get into the final. We're going to progress into the Premier. As you don't let your heart rule your head, do you?
My heart's rolling my head, mate, and I'm like, yeah, come on, you know, I'm Boro through and through, mate, and I don't want to see the sort of the pitfalls that are there, Bernie, but I think we need to go to Brentford and we need to put in a grafting performance, you know, get in there, get amongst them, get some goals, not this sitting back and all this titty and then waiting to come back the Riverside and, yeah, let's do it and what have you. No, let's do it down there so we come back and we can just make sure the job's done at the Riverside.
Okay, John.
So, you know, get the break and go for it.
John, thank you very much for your call. Cheers. See you later. Ta-ra, John.
Pleasure,
thank you, mate. Cheers.
Take care, mate.
Cheers.
See you later. Bye.
Obviously, if you want to get involved, you've used 01642 688 104. Where are we? Matt Evans, he's tweeted in, had a lump in my throat during that standing ovation for Steve Gibson. Yeah, the whole stadium stood up and applauded Steve Gibson, obviously fantastic chairman. He's one of our own. He's born in Teesside. He's did a magnificent job. He's backed us to the hill over the years, gave us magnificent training facilities at Hillworth, the Carling Cup, UEFA Cup final, and he's got us in a prime position at the minute, or helped us on our way. So well done to him, and he deserves the plaudits. Andrew Glover says something of a miracle performance. I don't know what that means. And Anthony Vickers, who's a mate of mine who works for the Evening Gazette, of course, he says the planned champagne party loses, its fizz as flat Boro bottle against Brighton. Taku says great season Boro, now on the post-season believe, and there's a host of others, but we're going to go to another caller because I think we're going to squeeze one more in before we're finished. Daniel, good evening Daniel.
Hello there Bernie.
Come on then Daniel, are you in fine fit or are you a bit disappointed?
Well, to be honest, I kind of realised that before this game we definitely had the playoffs and bar some kind of miracle 20-goal thriller in the Charlton game, we're going to get top two. So I thought, well, I'm not that bothered about the result of today's game, because I know we've definitely got 2 more games in a crack at promotion.
Yes.
So I was more interested in the other games to find out who would end up squeezing into playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I was quite shocked that Derby kind of ended up finishing 8th.
I was as well. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
They've got a few players on that team with Premier League experience. They brought Darren Bent in, Tom Ince.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how they got away with that, with the fair play rules and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they obviously focus on Middlesbrough next Friday. Now we've got Brentford. So I mean, a few people have been saying to me, it'll be an easier game. The big switch, no easy games really.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I think Brentford will be right up and fighting. So I need to.
Wait. I mean, if we were playing, I was saying earlier, if we were playing Brentford at Wembley in a one-off game, I'd think, whoa, that's tough. They're a good footballing team. It's a big pitch, and they could exploit certain deficiencies. But in a 2-leg, I honestly, my gut instinct is we're good enough. We're better than them, and I'm confident.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy, but I am confident we can progress into the final, and then thereafter, it's going to be anybody's game. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm,
so I'm confident in that. What a great crowd, Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, was it capacity or?
Well, 33,500. I think the ones that was missing was obviously their supporters. They must have came in a taxi, and the ones that was missing would have made it up to the 5,000 is capacity, but a good 33,500 was there. So well done to them. Made a great noise. Got behind the team. I did hear a few moans and groans, like when we made mistakes or the ball was hit too heavy over the top or we missed a chance. It was grunts and groans, and it just took me back to the Ayerson Park days, that the people that are fair weather fans come and have a good old moan and groan,
Yeah. Well, unfortunately I wasn't actually there today due to being at work.
Daniel, you never missed a thing. You never missed a thing. You never missed a thing.
I know. Me mate rang us and he was like, you're better off not coming, so
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do my best to get to the home leg of the Brentford game,
Well, that should be, surely that's going to be a sellout. It must be a sellout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or at least 30,000 at least.
Come on, Daniel. What do you mean 30? It should be sellout. This is a chance to get to Wembley. We'll know after the first leg how we're doing, but surely we must get a full house.
This is what annoys us about the game today. 30,000 there. Where have they been all season?
Well, I've said it all along. There is glory supporters out there. If it's finance, I totally understand, and I feel sorry for those that's struggling financially. But all of a sudden, you get an extra 15,000. Well, where do they came from? They're jumping in the bandwagon. They want a bit of the glory. That's all they do, and there's a lot of them.
I mean, I know quite a few fans that watch the game online and that kind of thing, and go to the pub and spend a fortune. I think, well, the money you've spent there, you could actually go to the game.
Yeah.
But
Daniel, listen, thanks for your contribution. Thanks for your call. I'm back on Friday, hopefully discussing about a victory against Brentford. Thanks very much, Daniel, and thanks for everybody joining us. It ended Middlesbrough 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. It was a dire game, poor to watch, not a good advert for Championship football, but we're in the playoffs, who gives a damn. We play Brentford over the 2 legs, and we'll be back next Friday. Regarding time, probably about 10 o'clock, 10:30, round about then. We'll tweet it. Don't forget you can watch this on YouTube. Why you would want to do that, I don't know, but you can watch it on YouTube. 01642 I forgot the number. 688-104. Give us a phone, give us a tinkle, and hopefully talk to you next week. Thank you very much.
Bernie Does the Borough. This show has been an independent production on CVFM.